All right, folks, back at it, trying to close this thing up. I can't leave this open too long because I'll forget where I was at when I left it. And what's comedically hilarious from y'all's perspective is I already dropped a lock nut in there. Fortunately, I rolled it over, it fell back out. And then my son came in, Henry, and was like, Daddy, I want to give you some cheese crackers. And then just literally dumped cheese crackers in the crankcase. So I'm like, this is kind of what I'm dealing with, guys. So let me turn it around and show you what I'm getting into. So in the midst of trying to get, I guess going over that accessory drive kit, I'm trying to get the motor buttoned up. I'm trying to get end covers on. I'm trying to get the oil pan on, oil pump, windage tray, baffle kit, all the good, cool stuff that I got from Improved Racing. I thought it was worthy of mentioning. This is a brand new close LS3 cam gear. And I'm not clearly an engine builder, but this thing goes on, gosh, there's probably fewer cars that this doesn't go on, right? This is a pretty well-used part number, okay? And this is a Mellings 10295 standard volume, high-pressure pump. And I'm just using the standard springs and stuff that come with it. I'm not trying to do anything crazy here. But what's worth noting is when I tried to fit this thing on here, it didn't get any further than that. It would not slide over the timing gear. And so I made a phone call real quick, make sure I wasn't losing my mind, to my buddy Tyler Newberry. And he sold me the pump. And he said sometimes when everything's nice, fresh, and new, it doesn't fit, essentially. So I took a light file, and you can kind of see, and I just kind of took the edges down of everything. Now this, the body, which is cast. This is a cast piece, right? Now I have all kinds of play where I can center it. And then almost, oh God, where'd it go? Losing it. All right, so my pump gear, oh my God, now it's not gonna fit. It fits now, and I'll tap it on there, but this thing wouldn't even fit. So I took a light file, and you can see it's kind of scratched up. I just took the edges off. So yeah, it freaked me out because I'm like, part numbers match what I should be using. Nothing's perfect ever. I'm just one more example in doing all this stuff. So, but it's not critical. All right, before I button up the bottom end of this, I just wanted to share some of the provisions I'm trying to make to save the motor. The oil pan that I'm going with, anyways, F-body, 98 to 02 LS1 style pan. It's got a stock OEM, it's not even considered a baffle. Anyways, this is going to be the pan I'm going to use. It's not totally ideal, especially for like track use, but because I think it's a low volume pan. So like my C5 with the Batwing pan was like, with a cooler, it was 8 quarts, which is it's a good amount of oil. I want to say these are like 6 to 6.5, under 7 for sure. So this is a takeoff off of a crate motor. Picked this up for like $1.25 with the pickup tube, brand new, never used, with the filter and the low oil warning sensor. I think that's what that is. So in order to make this just the bottom end of this motor just a little bit more efficient, 4th gen Camaro oil pan baffle. So this is all by Improved Racing. Got all this stuff on their website. All right, sorry about that. So trap doors, bolts right into place. You can see all this stuff looks pretty well engineered and should help out quite a bit. And they've got good pamphlets, good instructions, good information. The next big thing. I originally was just gonna get a performance windage tray. But then I was like, you know, if I'm gonna spend that much money, I might as well spend the extra, might be extra 100, 150, which is still a lot of money. And what you're paying for is not material, although it's really nice. But anyways, for this particular application, it's a kit, right? You can't just go buy the windage tray and use it on their crank scraper. So really nice piece with, I'm sure it's all CNC'd with welded in ring nuts for assembling the windage tray. This is a specific tray that goes with this low profile scraper. They make all kinds of scrapers for stock stroke cranks, OEM cranks, aftermarket cranks. I mean, very specific. So they've got part numbers you put in, tell you what crank you're using. Anyways, I've never used this stuff, but I have to imagine it's gonna help me for scavenging and all that stuff, considering everything I'm gonna be doing and the volume of the oil pan, which I think for what I'm doing will be fine. These are all just extra measures that I'm trying to take care of my motor, not have to do this again. So this is an improved baffle. I think I went over it, EGM-200. All right, so what you're looking at is the, you're looking at me trying to be a dad on a snow day and mechanic. My son totally taking care of me, bringing me some crackers. Come on, brother. Which, by the way, he just threw this down in here, trying to get it to me. Not fun. That was right after I dropped one of these in there and was lucky enough to get it off. Yes, thank you, man. Can you shut that door, please, buddy? Yes. Anyway, follow the directions very closely. There's some spacers that need to go in there. There's a feeler gauge. You have to essentially make sure that all your clearance is correct. And I'm about to do that here now. Yeah. So you're gonna, hold on. So you're gonna wait on the scraper, this final bolt here, but everything gets, I'm doing the thing. I'm doing the thing. What? What's up? Oh yeah, we went to Monster Jam. He's tripping on all the monster trucks.
Daddy.
Yes.
You to watch this?
I'm watching them. Yep. That's, what do they call those? Stoppies?
Daddy.
Yeah, I'm watching you, dude.
Daddy, you dropped.
He did.
I needed
So they tell you to get a 20 thousandths feeler gauge, and you go all the counterweights, rods, everything. You need at least 20 thousandths between everything. So once you rotate the motor over a couple times, dude, I don't even know what to do.
Daddy.
I'm listening. Say hi to everybody. Say hi. No? Okay, never mind. So you hold off because the pickup mount uses one of the main studs, of course. So it tells you to use all their hardware, and then it goes on to tell you 5 foot-pounds. I'm not listening to you, dude. You're being kind of rude, interrupting me, bro. I'm not a fan. Yeah, go for it. I'm listening, bro. Huh? You do wheelies? That's 5 foot-pounds, right? All right. On the oil pump, depending on what style pickup tube you have, mine is the straight. There's one that's a bit mushroomed or tapered. There's a couple different styles. So I'm using the black O-ring, which is what Mellings tells you to do. What'd you do? Why? Well, why would you do that, dude? I've got a little aluminum hold down. Look, if you've never done it before, then it's all a little scary. So, anyways, that's it for the bottom end. Next up is covers. Actually, what's up next is the baffle for the, anyways, I'm all over the place. So this is an improved baffle. I think I went over it, EGM-200. So if you look in here, you can see someone's already pinned this balancer like 4 times. Either all at once, which is insane that you would put 4 pins. That's probably not. Anyways, my crank has also been pinned. So I'm gonna try to reuse that, save myself a little bit of trouble. All right, well, there's a few different ways you can put on the front cover. You can buy the $50 worth of tools, or you can do what I did, which is put it on loosely, install your balancer, and then before you tighten it down, just make sure that the bottom of the front cover is flush with the oil pan deck. So that's pretty much what I did. Snugged everything down, checked it with a square, and that's pretty much it. So moving on to the rear cover. All right. So I've got my cover with the rear main already in it, main seal. Got everything wiped down. A little bit of oil in the back of the can, nothing crazy, right? Whoop. All done with that. That worked out pretty good. This has a real heavy grease on it. So apparently they're thinking about this. Okay, that looks pretty dang good. I mean, that's already pretty lined up. Let me do this first, okay? Okay, not bad. What are you looking for, buddy? What are you looking for? Huh? All right, don't forget to prime your oil pump. This is all I've got right now. I'm probably gonna use like a break-in motor oil, like a Gibbs break-in or something like that. I really like their product. Today I'm just gonna... All right, so what you're looking at is a reconditioned Ram Force. It's a 10.5-inch twin disc clutch with an aluminum flywheel, a steel ring. This was originally on my C5, and when it went bad, I threw it in the corner, and then when I did some more research, it's cost me $600 to refinish. Looks brand new, absolutely brand new. Reconditioned the flywheel, all new clutch discs, and then brand new carrier. So hard to not go that route, man, for $650. So yeah, anyways, this is the receipt, $600. They just deal with you via email. Pretty good deal considering I didn't want to spend $1,500, $1,700 on a clutch. Might be a little bit heavier than the lighter twin disc, but all that being said, it should work just fine for what I'm doing. All right, so, you know, pretty straightforward. Clutch is in, and everything's snugged down tight. The Ram clutch fit just fine. But anyways, we'll get rolling. So normally you want to get it flush before you start bolting everything in. I mean, obviously you want to get bolts started, and I'm not a huge fan of drawing it in with the bolts, just especially because it's a cast bell housing.
So, but in this particular case, I know it's in. I'm really confident that it's in. So I'm just being real careful to just draw it in, you know, consistently, just going back and forth across sporadically to try to draw it in evenly. So fit pretty tight, fit pretty snug, everything cleared. So I'm ready to move on. All right, that's it. All right, fits like a glove. No issues.
Looks good. I'm stoked. One less thing to worry about, it looks like. All right, folks. I want to thank everybody for sticking around. It's not the most exciting thing, but it's the next part of the project, right? Motor's ready to go in for the last time when it goes in, or for final assembly rather. Chassis is next on the list, so we're gonna start tearing that down and get that off to sandblast, and then I can start taking care of welding that thing up. So that's next on the list right now. Waiting on a few surprises here. I'll be able to share with you guys with the body as far as some of the finished panels. Anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around, and we'll see you on the next one.